Welcome, everybody, to Freelance Writing Direct. I'm your host, Estelle Erasmus, the author of Writing That Gets Noticed, Find Your Voice, Become a Better Storyteller, Get Published, which was named by Poets and Writers a best book for writers. Every week, I speak with novelists, with authors, with writers of every niche to talk about their tips, their tricks, their strategies, and how the sauce is made, including creative advice. I'll talk about essays and articles and share my own experience from 3 decades of publishing. So join me every week and grow your business and build your craft with Freelance Writing Direct. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review on iTunes. And follow along on Substack, where I share special clips for subscribers only at estelleserasmus.substack.com. Welcome, everybody, to this episode of Freelance Writing Direct. I'm your host, Estelle Erasmus, and this is my kind of commentary on what's been going on in the publishing landscape. Right now, it's been a really difficult time for editors and for writers, and I'll tell you why. A lot of publications have let go of their editors, and that includes Hearst, which recently got rid of as many as 100, might be more, people in all phases of their magazines, and some magazines are being compiled into an editor handling 2 different magazines and then the staff being let go. So that's been happening. A lot of it has been with special interest publications, but some of it have been traditional women's magazines as well. And the reason is a lot of these companies, and we're talking Hearst, we're talking Meredith, we're talking the Washington Post, which have also had their slew of layoffs, hundreds combined for each, is the companies are contracting with AI companies. And that is enabling them to get more efficiencies in a way, but it also is a challenge in terms of the caliber of the writing. And I think that because they're using AI, they're going to be not needing as many editors. Let's face it, publishing has been going through a sea change. I talked about it last year. It's only going to continue. We are being forced, the industry is being forced to change. What that change will be, I don't know, but it seems like publications, print publications, unless they're niche, really focused on one area, are pretty much going by the wayside unless they have a huge committed readership. But that doesn't seem to be happening with most print publications, unless, again, it's very targeted. Number 2, the days of opening these magazines and sitting and reading, it's just over. The print world. I mean, you see print magazines now where? At the doctor's office, the dusty copies from companies that handle like health writing. There used to be a magazine called Remedy. I don't know if it's around anymore, but those were the kinds of magazines we saw in the doctor's offices. That is becoming a relic of the past. I think magazines are going to end up being much like that Smith Corona typewriter that we used to have in our basement at home. So I think that that's something that we really all need to consider. I said on my Facebook page that right now, I would not recommend telling your kids to go into magazines. Now, there's a caveat for this. Not going into magazines is one thing. Writing, learning how to be a good writer is another. And that, the importance for that will never go away. It is, I think, more important than ever that you teach your kids or that your kids learn how to be good writers. And that's not just grammar. That's how to put across a thought, an idea, how to keep an audience's attention, how to keep a reader's attention in every way possible. Because we live in an economy, a world economy of noise. You're breaking through the noise in everything that you do. And so teaching people to write is still going to be paramount. Now, the opportunities for that are changing, and I'll tell you why. We want to all look at the world as a place of abundance, and I agree. But with all the layoffs of seasoned, savvy editors and writers, there is going to be a glut of seasoned, savvy, connected editors and writers looking for work. If they're not getting editing work, they are getting writing work. So that is going to make the competition even higher to get into the smaller and smaller amount of publications that are actually available to be published in. So all of this needs to be considered. Now, I want to talk about social media. There has been a wave of people leaving Twitter/X to go to Blue Sky. I'm in there too. I joined Blue Sky because you take your handle, so you have that, and then you see where it's going to go because we never know. But honestly, people, 2011, when Twitter was starting in its heyday, that is when social media was really strong. It was strong on Facebook. It was strong on Twitter. Now, don't get me wrong. I still like Facebook because I have it kind of locked down to my community, to the people that I can freely speak with, as free as you can on social media. But the day of one specific social media algorithm is kind of gone. So you're split between Threads and Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Blue Sky and whatever else is coming down the pike. LinkedIn is, throwing their hat in the equation as well. So here's what I recommend for writers. Don't put all your focus on social media. I've been talking to a lot of editors, a lot of people in publishing, and the fact that you have like a big following or whatever it is not translating. It's not as important as it once was. Why? Because it's been shown that it does not necessarily transfer into dollars. A lot of times you have these followings in the beginning when everyone's following everybody, and it doesn't translate. And the publishing world has seen that. So what do? Platform is really the idea that someone will want what you have to sell because they see it as valuable. What makes it valuable? It'll help them. It'll bring their dream to fruition. It's something that you are offering in some way through your connections, through your associations, through the people you know, through the things that you do, and the places where your name has value. And that's how you continue building your platform. So don't put your eggs in social media. That's like my best piece of advice when it comes to social media. Okay, next, I want to talk about Substack. Yes, I'm on Substack. EstelleSerasmus.substack.com. It's Substack writing that gets noticed, where I give craft advice. And for paid subscribers, I offer them different opportunities, pitching opportunities, micro memoir for me to work with them and edit for them. Obviously, I don't have thousands of paid subscribers because that would make it impossible. But I do feel like I'm building my community there slowly. But I do offer bonus clips as well for people who are paid subscribers for the guests that I have on Freelance Writing Direct. And so if I can continue to add value and also people, see what I do as the literary citizen, which is my podcast, which is free. And I have 115 episodes of Freelance Writing Direct with editors and agents and people in every aspect of media and publishing and authors, of course. Substack is helpful for a lot of people. However, everyone's on Substack now. So what does that mean? It means that when you sign up for something, you're not necessarily reading it. There is a problem where people, they kind of sign up and then it's like sign up for 3 and sign up for 4 and you put your emails in and it ends up that you can't read the stuff. The other thing is there's a trend happening now that I want you to be aware of. With the deficit of publications closing, and let me be clear why they're closing. They're closing because the model of business that used to work no longer works. And I've been in the magazine and the publishing world for 30 years from both sides of the publishing wall. And I can tell you that advertising used to be the way that they would make their money. But advertising the dollars have been shrinking. So they couldn't make their money that way. And then they tried subscriber situations. And most people are so used to getting content and material for free that they're balking at just these basic subscriptions for online publications. So that money has been dwindling. And now with AI, they think that they're going to save money, and maybe they will for the short term, but it remains to be seen how that's going to affect the content. And it may not affect it at all. They may just be using AI in terms of setting up listicles, things that I don't advocate that writers do it unless they really need to start somewhere, because it's just kind of thankless work and it's not going to get you noticed. You're not putting your voice in it. You're not showing who you are, as I talk about in my book. So that could be a use for AI. We're going to see as it starts showing more and more of what they're doing. However, going back to Substack, what's happening with Substack is people are using it to create magazines on Substack. So right now, the focus is on literary publications. New lit publications are starting almost every day. I'm going to go back to that. And then, of course, traditional legacy media is slowly dying off because people are starting to find they're not getting exactly what they need from it. We could have a whole discussion about that and why that is, but that's the fact of the matter. And so there are some kind of news publications like the Free Press that are starting and doing very well on Substack. Now, back to the literary publications. A lot of people are starting these publications, and some people have solid editorial background. And some people are trying their hand at editing, which is fine. There is going to be a variation in the quality of the pieces that you're going to see from these literary publications that are going to be cropping up more and more and more. So as a consumer, as a reader, you're going to have to be challenged to think, where is the best use of my attention and of my time? And what's going to happen is they're going to say, it's going to be free for a while. And then they're going to want people to submit. And they're also going to say, eventually, as it gets bigger and more people are interested in submitting, they'll move it to a paid model. And so you may end up paying for a bunch of subscriptions, and then you'll have to decide how valuable they are to you. But at the same time that all these publications are coming up on Substack, legacy media is going to be going through a huge, huge change. I suspect more publications will close. I suspect big companies will be bought by not only individuals in the public eye, but by overseas companies. And so this industry, my friends, is going through a lot. I've seen it go through a lot. I was there with print when print was king. Back in the 90s, it was glory days. And then the beginning of online publications, I saw that too, that had the VC funding and all the people supporting it. And it was the hottest, biggest, most exciting thing. And I would spend time consulting with publications and writing up, the different stories that they would have and assign. It was like really early days of the internet, but I was involved at that level. And so today it's a whole different ballgame. But at the bottom line, and really the bottom line, is to succeed in any kind of business, any kind of venture, anything that you need to be in the public eye for, you need to be able to write. You need to be able to communicate your ideas, and you need to be able to break through the enormous amount of noise that is coming at you from all ends, from social media, from the things that you see on the internet, from Substack, from the news, from just everywhere. So let's all breathe. Let's continue to work on our craft and learn how to be good communicators, good writers, and get noticed. So anyway, I wanted to tell you, I love you. I love the support that you're giving me for the work that I'm doing, the work that's so important to me. And let's go on to do great writing and great things together. And I'm here for you. And it's so great to be able to share everything that I can from the literary and the business and the publishing and the writing world with you. And I hope to continue to do that for a long time. Happy New Year, everyone. God bless, and I will see you in the new year. Bye. Follow me at EstelleSErasmus.com on my website and on social media, which is Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Estelle S. Erasmus. And we're now on YouTube for Freelance Writing Direct. Follow along, and soon everyone will be reading what you're writing.